Good morning to everyone. So today we are going to start with our last chapter, that is chapter 5 from your unit 3, and the chapter name is Java Server Pages Standard Tag Libraries, that is a JSTL. Okay. In some or the other lecture, I just informed you that there are some predefined tags are there, ready-made tags for JSP, which we can make use it like we can make use of it directly in our program to overcome with some of the other disadvantages of your scriptlet code. Okay, so there is a JSTL whose full form is Java Server Pages Standard Tag Libraries. Now we'll start with the introduction. So JSTL is something called as a collection of some ready-made and useful JSP tags, which will help us to encapsulate the main and the core functionalities. That functionalities which can be common, which can be used in many number of JSP applications. So we can make use of such available tags directly in any of the application where JSP is present. Okay, JSTL is also called it as a standard tag libraries. It is consisting of many ready-made tags. It is consisting of several tags which can remove the disadvantage, or you can say it can help me to remove the scriptlet code from my JSP page. Okay, and I hope you remember that why we are making use of scriptlet code, because it is helping me to embed the Java code, and we can write some Java expression also inside the scriptlet tag, and it is going to provide me some tags which are very much ready to use, and it is going to implement many common functionalities for my JSP applications. Now, what is wrong while using the JSP scriptlet tag? Very first thing, that there is no code reusability. So if I'm writing something inside the scriptlet tag, if I'm making some scriptlet code, okay, so JSP is going to reduce the code reusability function, because it is like not going to allow me to have that same code what I'm writing into the scriptlet tag. I cannot make use it again anywhere else. Where whatever I am writing inside the scriptlet code for a JSP page, it is meant for that page only. It is not being used some other page or some other page. We cannot recall it. Fine. So that is like there's no code reusability. There can be a poor structure of JSP page because we are just including the scriptlet tags where I'm trying to embed the Java code. Okay, and as I told you, other than the scriptlet code where I'm trying to embed my Java code, other than that, whatever I'm writing it outside, it is been considered either your HTML code or it can be a plain text. Fine. So it can lead to the poor structure of your JSP page. Having the reduced readability of an HTML code, that means it is understanding the HTML code at the view level. As we all know that why we are using the HTML, because we want to create that view layer for our client, through which our client can be able to see the things in our web application. It can interact and communicate with our web application. But if we are making a JSP page complex, which can consist of HTML tags also, which can include the JSP tags, which can include the Java code, okay, so which can make it to the complex. Next, increases efforts to understand the JSP, because like as I told you, there are a number of things are present in one page. There are a number of things have been defined in your scriptlet tag. So it is going to take time to understand the JSP, because ultimately there is going to be an translation of JSP to the Java code, because whatever you're writing inside a scriptlet tag is going to be translated and you can say separated from your JSP for the Java bean, where the Java code is going to get executed. So if at all like anything happens in between the translation, it's very difficult to understand. Okay, lastly, it is prone to the exception and hence no view at all. This we have discussed in one of the lecture, as I told you, that if at all any error or exception happens while having the execution of a JSP code, okay, so if the exception occurs, we may not be able to identify whether the exception has occurred in either JSP page or an you can say in the business logic, which is I have written in my Java code. Okay, whatever servlet code you are building, you're developing the servlet code, that is all known as business logic. That logic which is responsible to communicate with your client as well as your database. It is an intermediate who is having that interaction, so you will not be able to know whether the exception has occurred from the JSP page or an servlet page which is running some business logics. Okay, so there is no view at all on such kind of an exceptions. What can be the advantage you are going to have when you're going to make use of the JSTL? You can have an automatic Java Bean introspection support. So that means like you may be able to understand where the errors are coming from and from where the exceptions have been occurring, because ultimately your JSTL, what you are going to learn in further slide, that what all ready-made tags we have. So that all tags are going to help us to understand there's exception, that errors which are going to happen. It is going to have an automatic introspection also in your Java Bean. Okay, so it is going to be very much easier for humans as well as computers to read that whatever data we are passing. It is also going to support a standardized uh, support for the formatting, that also we are going to learn in the further slide, that how it is going to have a predefined ready-made tags which is going to support me, which is going to help me as a developer to format my whole JSP page. Okay, so that all disadvantages advantages you have. We'll see the disadvantages of GSTL also. These disadvantages are not as per the programming disadvantage, although it has more advantages comparatively or scriptlet, but disadvantages it just for the developer. Okay, like it can be an overhead or a burdensome over the experienced programmers, because they have to implement and they have to replace the traditional scriptlet tag with the ready-made one. uh, it is not as extensive as JSP Scriptlet. That is only one valid, you can say, the disadvantage we have for the JSTL, that you can have an extensive you can have an extension of the code in your scriptlet tag, which is not possible. Like you cannot go to the larger extent in terms of programming inside your JSTL or by making use of JSTL. Okay, so that can be one disadvantage you have. Now, what all tag libraries we were talking about and we are going to talk in this chapter. So we have in general five tag libraries. Okay, and that five tag libraries are going to help me in all possible ways, like whatever thing we can know we will try to make in a program. We'll try to make our business logic to work for us, and whatever maximum we can expect from our application, we can build with the help of these five tags in our JSP. Okay, so there are five tags, namely as core tags, function tags, formatting tags, XML tag, and SQL tags. When I talk about the core tags, fine. So these are the tags who is going to deal with the variable declaration. You can have the values for your variable. You can display the values of the variable. You can pass some URL. That means if you want to fetch some information from specific URL, say for example, google.com, and you can just go and type some word over there, find some information related to that word, and any link you want to paste it into the core tag, and you want to have the content from that web page to be hold by one of the variable in your core tag, that is also possible. You can have a flow control. That means if you want to work with the if else conditions, if you want to go with the for loop, while loop, this kind of iterations you can do all those parts, the basic parts of any programming language with the core tags. Okay, any of the tag which you're going to learn today, okay, you just have to understand two things are going to be very much mandatory, because you have to make your compiler understand that what you are making use of and why you are making use of. Okay, first thing, you're going to make use of one URL, and that is like I can compare with your JDBC driver. So if you remember in servlet, when we were learning about the servlets, you had a JDBC driver. Why we need a JDBC driver? Because if I want to connect to a database, so which database I want to connect to, either it is Oracle, either it can be SQL, MySQL server, MySQL or SQL server, any database you want to connect to, you have to mention its path. That path is something called it as a JDBC driver, which are defined one, predefined for those specific databases, and you just need to mention it in your program where you are going to write an actual Java code, servlet code, and you can make use of connectivity steps where you have to call that driver path. Okay, so that your program is going to understand that which type of database it has to connect to. Fine. So here in JSP also you can think in the same manner, you have to make your JSP engine understand that which type of tag library you are going to make use, and accordingly what all ready-made tags are available inside your core tag, which is going to be used by the developer. Okay, so if I just talk about the core tag, there is a defined path available to make your JSP engine understand that you're going to make use of core tags. Okay, what is the path? It is going to be similar for all the 5 tags, just the last word is going to get differ. Okay, so if I'm just going to talk about the core, so it is going to start from http java.sun.com JSP JSTL. Till here it is going to same. If you can see over here in all the 5 tags, it is going to same. What is going to change? The last name. So if I'm going to make use of core tag, the word is going to be attached into the URL, that is what? Core. So here if I'm going to make use of function tag, so the functions are going to get attached to this URL. For formatting tag, what we have in the URL? FMT. For XML, I am having XML. For SQL, I am having SQL. Okay, this is the first mandatory things which you are going to make use whenever you're going to make use of the tag libraries. Second thing, what is going to be very much important when you talk about the tag libraries, that you make use of prefix. Okay, where we are going to make use of prefix, that I will let you know. Okay, but just you have to understand that yes, there are some prefix available for the tag libraries, and that prefix for each tag is going to be what? So for core tag, we have a prefix called as C. You cannot change this prefix. This is a defined one. Okay, so just make use this URL and the prefix is C. For function, you're going to have fn as a prefix. For formatting, you have the prefix as similar to your URL last word, that is fmt. For XML, you're going to have a prefix called as x, and then you have an SQL for prefix is SQL for your SQL. Okay, so this is like you have the path and you are going to have a prefix. So this much you have to understand and remember, so that you can efficiently use this kind of tags in your programs. Okay, now we'll start with JSTL core tags. As we know that we have 5 main tags, and there are number of sub tags available in each main tag. We are going to see 4 to 5 programs of each sub tag of your main tag. Okay, so I'm trying to make you understand in all possible ways. Please listen to it properly. We'll start with JSTL core tags. That is, like as I told you, it is going to help me for a basic things like variable declaration, for the variable value which I want to store it, for the URL management, like from where any URL where I want to fetch some content from a specific application, or it can also help me to have a flow control like looping, conditions, iterations I can do with the help of core tags. Now, what is the syntax you're going to have for your JSTL core library? Okay, so we have learned in the last slide that we have 2 things which has to be written mandatorily. One is your URL, that is for the specific tag which is going to end with the name of that tag. That here, like if I'm making use of core tag, so it is going to end with what? Core. Rest thing, that is java.sun.com JSPA JSTL is going to remain same for all the remaining tags also. Now, whenever you're going to work with the tag library, one thing you have to add it into the this syntax, that is you're going to make use of the directives. If you don't remember, in the last lecture we have learned about the directives, include directive, we had a tag lib directive also. The last directive what we have learned inside your directive elements, if you remember, so we had an scripting elements, we had a directive elements, we have an action elements. Okay, so we have learned about the scripting and the directive element in one chapter, and the another chapter was all about your action elements. So in directive elements we had 3 types, and one of the type was your tag lib directive. Okay, and there I told you, whenever you're going to make use of directives, you have to make your compiler understand that you're making use of directives. Okay, how you're going to do that? You're going to start with your @sign. Fine. So even in your scripting, in your expression, in your declaration element, there you have different symbols to make your JSP engine to understand that which type of element you are making use of. So here we are making use of tag lib directive. So for directive we are going to make use of @sign, and we are going to name the directive, that is your tag lib. And for the tag lib directive we have the attributes called as URI and prefix. So students, you have to understand JSP is consisting of tags, okay, like your HTML is having. So when you're learning about your HTML, so you can see in HTML also we have number of tags and we have a respective attributes associated with that tag, okay, because you just cannot make use of simply one tag if you don't have attributes. So you cannot make your program understand that exactly what you want to do it. Fine, so you need attributes. So similarly, in the last lecture also I told you that make a a notebook where you can write something called as the scripting elements, the directive elements, action elements, and you can have the sub topics which we have learned into that, and you can write the syntaxes of each and every type of elements, and you can write the attributes also, so you'll be able to remember. Okay, now in taglib directive, we are going to have two attributes, that is one is URI and the another one is prefix. So for a core tag, when we are going to work with a core tag, what URI I'm going to have, what URL I'm going to pass, this is a URL which we have learned in the previous slide. And what is the prefix for the core tag? That is C. Fine, we'll see what all sub tags we have which we can make use of. These are all the ready-made tags which are available inside your main tag called as core tags. Okay, you can also consider it like this, that five main tags what we have just seen in the previous slide: core tag, function, formatting, XML and SQL tag. Okay, you can consider that is five libraries we have, and in each library we have certain amount of tags available, ready-made tags which we can make use of it for a specific task which we want to perform it in a program. Okay, so the core tag is one library we can consider, and we can have number of tags which is present inside it. So we are not going to like write all those tags in your question in your answer paper, but what we can do is we can select 4 or 5 tags in which we are comfortable, along with the example which we am going to show it in the this PPT also, and they are very much easy, you can easily learn and you can write it in your answer paper. Okay, so we have the out tag in the core tag which is your main library. Okay, and we know the core tag is having a prefix called as C. So whichever tag you are going to make use of in your program, so you have to make the program also understand that from where that tag is coming. Okay, so the prefix which I have for the core, I'm going to make use of it. Okay, so you have to write C colon out. So it has been understood by your JSP that you are going to make use of out tag from the core main tag. Okay, which is been having a prefix called as C. Now, out tag, as we all know, it is going to help me to display any kind of print, like it is going to help me to display some information, some result of an expression, or you can have some printing statement. Okay, you can have an import tag, you can have a set tag. Import means you can import any type of content by giving some URL. Okay, as I told you that you can search any word, say for example apple, and when you search for an apple you have number of links, provide any of the link over here. Okay, in the import tag, and what import tag is going to do, it is going to fetch all the information which is related to apple are present in one particular web page of what link you are given and you are providing it. Okay, then we have a set tag, it is going to set the value of some variable. You can just say that you are going to set the result of an expression. You can have a remove attribute also, you can remove the value of a certain variable. You have a catch tag that is going to help you to catch an exception. You have if, that is again a condition which is going to help me to test whether the condition is getting satisfied or not, and accordingly I'm going to display the body content. So you have many other tags like when tag, otherwise for each, which is meant for the maximum time it is working for the arrays, that is a for each loop. Okay, so these are all there, but we are going to learn only 4 to 5 tags along with the example. So I'll start one by one. That is, first is what your C out tag. Okay, now what C out tag is going to do, so you're going to start with your syntax of your code tag. How you're going to start with @ that is going to give you the hint that it is a directive. Okay, what is the directive name we are going to make use, that is your taglib. It is having two attributes, one is URI and one is prefix. So in URI, what I am writing, the URL of your core tag. So that is your java.sun.com JSP JSTL core. And what prefix you are writing? C. This is all your HTML tags what we have written. The only concern part is what we are making use of which tag from your core tag, that is C colon out tag. So we are making use of C colon out. Okay. And as I told you, every tag is going to have its own attributes. So the out tag having its attribute called as what? Value. Okay, which is going to hold the value which we are trying to print. And what you're going to make use of for printing your statements and to work with this JSTL, we are making use of expression language instead of scriptlet tag. Okay, we are not making use of scriptlet codes, we are just making use of expression language. And expression language, as I told you, is going to start with your dollar sign. Okay, so your JSP engine is also going to understand that you are making use of dollar sign. That means you are going to make use of expression language. Okay, what is the syntax for that? You're going to have a dollar sign and then it is going to be written inside, the expression is been written inside your curly brackets. Fine. So we are making use of C colon out, whose responsibility is to display some value or the information. The attribute for the out tag is what? Value, which is going to hold the value which has been passed inside this expression language. Okay, what value we are passing? Welcome, which we want to print, and it has been printed when it is going to be placed inside your value attribute. Okay, so the out tag is responsible to display the information which I'm passing over here. When you execute this program, you're going to see a welcome message. Fine. Next is what? Your C colon import tag. Now how you're going to work over here? Again, you're going to start with @sign. That will hint that you are going to make use of directive. And which type of directive you have to name? That is your tag lib directive. You have URI, that is ending with core because you are working with core tag. Prefix is C. Okay. Now, which tag we are going to use? C colon import. So C colon import we are writing over here. It has two attributes. One is your var and one is your URL. Okay. Now, what import tag is going to do for me? It is first of all going to see which URL I am passing over here. So I am passing as what? Google.com. Okay. Now, instead of writing google.com, I can have some other URL which can consist of some information about a word called as Apple. Okay, I'll just go to the google.com, I'll write a word called as Apple and I'll search something about it. I'll have number of links available. I can just click onto one of the link and that link I'm going to paste it over here in the URL. Fine. Once I'm giving that link, so whatever content is available like regarding the word called as Apple is going to be fetched from that place and it is going to be placed into one of the variable which I have created, that is something called as what? Data. Okay. Now once I have placed all the data after fetching from there and putting into one variable, so in import tag we have two attribute, as I told you. One is var, that is for declaring a variable. So you don't have data types but you have an attribute called as var. And what is the variable name you have given? Data. You are having an URL where you are going to get all the contents, where you want to fetch the contents. Okay. Next is what? Your, like whatever data I have fetched now from the given URL, I just want to display it. So for displaying, which tag we have? Out tag. Okay. And which attribute we have for that? That is your value attribute. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to make use of expression language that is going to start with your dollar sign, and I'm going to call the variable which is holding some value. What is the variable name which I have used in the import statement? That is your data. Okay, and the value which has been there in the data is going to be displayed in your web page. Fine. I hope you have understood this. Now the next tag is what? Your C colon set tag. Now what is going to happen in this? Again, it is going to start from @sign. Okay, we'll have a tag lib directive, we have a URL, we have a prefix. Fine. Now what is going to happen over here when we are going to make use of set tag? First of all, you have to understand that there are three attributes again, that is var, which is responsible for creating the variable. Next is what? Your scope, which is going to decide the scope of your JSP page. Then next is what? Your value. You can have certain expression language which you can calculate and place it into this. And after doing all these tasks, we just wanted to display the value which is going to come out from this set tag. Okay, so what we have done, we have created a variable by making use of attribute called as var. The variable name is what? Income. We have decided a scope, that is what? Session. But as I told you, if you're not deciding any scope, so we had four types of scopes, right? We had a page, we have request, we have session, we have application. Okay, so if I am not deciding any type of scope for my JSP page, so by default it is going to be page scope. That means whatever variable you are defining it over here, the access of this variable or this request is going to be only within this page. Okay, but if you're making use of session scope, that means the value which you're holding for the variable called as income is going to be for the whole session to which you are working on. Fine. Now the value what I'm passing for this variable called as income, the value is what? I'm using the expression language again. Okay, so it is been started with dollar sign, and what expression I am writing over here? 4,000 into 4. So what is going to be the answer? 16,000. Okay, and that 16,000 is going to be getting stored into your income variable. Now I want to print that, so again I'm going to make use of which tag? Out tag. Okay, and this is the attribute which is going to hold the value, which I'm going to call it over here the variable called as what? Income. Fine. So this is how you're going to make use of set tag, or you can say your JSTL. Fine. Again, inside your core tag we have the if tag. Okay, C colon if tag. So till now, out of 5 main tag, we are learning the first one, that is what? Your core tag. We know what is the URL for the core tag, we know what is the prefix for core tag. Okay, and till now we have learned about the out tag from the core tag, we have learned about the import, we have learned about the set. Okay, now we are learning about what? If tag. Now we all know why we are making use of if, because it is like a condition we are going to give, and if the condition gets satisfied, accordingly the value is going to be printed. Okay, so again we have started with this same. You have to make use of this in the very first statement, so that your JSP page is going to understand basically which type of JSTL tag you are making use. Okay, and just directly will come here. So what I'm doing it over here now, I'm having a set tag. Okay, I'm having a variable called as income. Okay, and how it is going to happen? We have an attribute called as var, which is going to create a variable. We are deciding the scope also for that variable, that it is going to be live for the whole session. We are just passing the value for that variable, that is what? Your 4,000 into 4, that is an expression language. Okay, and it is been what? It is your 16,000. Now this is going to be the value of your variable called as income. Okay, there will be a question in your mind that, how automatically it is going to happen that value has been assigned directly to the variable. It is defined. It is defined for the set tag, and whatever attributes we are making use of, it is there already defined for such things. You don't have to make your program understand. You don't have to develop something, you don't have to code it something to make your program understand that assign the value to the variable called as income. It is defined in such a way that it is going to take the value. Fine. Now we are going to make use of if tag. So C colon if. So what we are doing, we are having again an attribute for the if tag, that is what? Test. So what we are doing over here, we are having an expression language saying that whatever variable we had, that is your income variable, and whatever value this variable is holding, that is what? 16,000. If this value 16,000 is greater than at what? 8,000. So what is going to happen? It is going to print something. What is going to be printed? Now I know that printing the value, or printing a value, what we have? Out tag. Okay, so we are going to make use of that tag. We have an attribute who is going to print the value of an income. So if the value is greater than 8,000, what is the value we are going to get? That is your 16,000. So your my income is what? 16,000. Fine. So this is how you're going to make use of if tag. Now next tag from your core tag, that is what? For each tag. Fine. Now for each tag, why we are using, if you remember in SY we had made this tag, this loop. For each loop we used it for what? For the arrays. Okay, where we used to go sequentially to all the values of the arrays, and till the time all the values are getting printed and read from the array, we are going to continue with the loop, and once it is done, it is going to come out from that loop. Fine. So again, it is a core tag, so we are going to make use of same thing again over here in the first statement, but where you're going to make use of for each loop, C over here. So it starts with C prefix because it belongs to the core tag. So we have a for each tag, which is a ready-made tag from the core tag. I'm having an attribute that is where, begin and end. So I have to give a variable name first, that is what, J, and I'm going to make the for each loop understand that I'm going to start my printing of the value from 1 and I'm going to end it till 3. Okay, so what you're going to do, you just now want to print the value of J. So what you're going to make use of out tag. Okay, you have an attribute, so you're going to have an expression where you're trying to print the value of what, J. So what is the value you're going to get? J value first is going to run, is going to see what is the first value, that is 1. So if you remember in also do, we initialize the value. Say for example, in the for loop I am just creating a variable called as I and I'm assigning it to 0. So what is going to be understood, that the value which is going to be printed now, it's going to start from 0. Okay, and we have the condition that it is going to run by, till it is less than or greater than equals to certain value, say 5. Okay, and we'll have an increment or a decrement operator. Okay, so this is how, similarly, instead of having that whole initialization, instantiation and incrementation in the for loop, we have variable, that is int I equals to 0, what we do in for loop. So here it is happening with the help of where equals to the variable name. Okay, then you have a condition that it will going to start with begin with 1. Okay, and you're going to have an increment, but that increment we have just defining with the help of an end attribute, that we are saying it is going to end at what time, when it is going to reach to 3. Okay, so now you're trying to print the value of J. So how you're going to do, you're just going to have an expression, we are trying to print the value of J. So it's going to start from 1, it's going to print 2, also it is going to print 3. So what will be the output? 1 2 3. Fine. Now, this was all about your core tags. Okay, so first main tag, core tag, we have completed. Now we are going and moving towards your JSTL function tags. Now, what function tag is going to help us? It's going to provide a number of standard functions, and most of these functions are going to work with the strings. Okay, if you remember, we had a chapter where we tried to find the string length, we tried to trim the white spaces, we made the string at uppercase or a lowercase. We also tried to find the substring from the whole length, like if I'm having, say for example, elephant, but I just wanted to find some part of that string, that I can do with the help of a substring. I can also find that a string which is starting with certain value, certain characters, that also we can do. So this all covers inside your function tags, which is mainly working with a string manipulation functions. Okay, what is going to be your syntax for this function tag? As we know, we are going to start with the directive, because we are making use of directive, so it is going to start with @. What directive we are making use of? Taglib. We have two attributes, that is URI and prefix. So what URI we have given over here? So the same java.sun.com, JSP, JSTL, and we have functions. So that core is going to be now replaced with what? Functions. Okay, and what prefix you have for the functions? Fn. So now instead of using c colon, what we are going to make use of fn colon. Okay, now we have number of functions, JSTL functions. Again, we are going to make use some or the other functions only, or you can say the tags out of all what we are going to see over here. So it is having the function or a tag consists of like contains. Okay, so it is going to start with a prefix called as fn, and it is having a contains function which is going to test whether an input string is containing certain specified substring in a program or not. So if I'm saying elephant, so I can check whether PHANT is included or not into that given whole string called as elephant. I can check that with the help of a contains function. Okay, then we can have the ends with, where I can just check whether an input string is ending with some specific suffix. So if I just wanted to check whether an elephant string is ending with the last two words, you can say PHANT. So whether it is ending with NT, so that we can also check. Okay, we can also have an escape XML where we can try to escape that characters which can be interpreted by your JVM or a JSP engine as an XML marker, that we can make a JSP program, or you can say make some string value in such a way that you can escape that string values which can also be interpreted as an XML markup. Okay, you can also find some index value of a string, or you can find the index value of certain characters. We can have the trimming of the white spaces or a blank spaces. You can check whether the string is starting with a certain character. Say for example elephant, so whether it is starting with E, so that you can check. Or you can say if you have a whole sentence, so I can say that whether it is starting from, I'll just give you a sentence. Say, for example, this is a Java program. So I can just check whether my sentence is starting with this. Okay, so you can check with the help of a starts with. Okay, then you have a split. That means you can split your string into the array of substrings. You can convert it into lowercase, uppercase. You can find the substrings. You can find the substring whether it is present after certain characters, or if it is present before some value. You can find the length. You can replace the string values also with some other string. Okay, now we'll see the example. We'll start with the length function. So as I told you, we are not going to do all the examples of all the tags, but some selective tags which is like easy also for you to understand, and you can write in your answer paper. Okay, so we are going to have the fn colon length function. So why we are making use of length function in terms of strings? Because if you want to find out the length of a string value. Okay, now if you can see in the program, we are going to make use of both the you can say core tag as well as the function tag. Why we are making use of core tag? Because alone function tag cannot print the values, because printing the value, variable declaration, controlling structures, and all those things happens only in core tags. Okay, so each tag is having its own you can say functions what they're going to do. So the function tag is not having the variable declaration, printing the values, all those things are not available in function. So it is only present in your core. So we need a core tag. So that's why we have made use of the core tag as well as your function tag, if you can see over here. Okay, and prefixes we have defined it for the core as well as your functions. Fine. Now this is your HTML tags. We can make use of it. Just important part which is there for this function length function, we can see that first. So what we are making use of, set tag, which comes from your core tag. Okay, we are having a variable where can make use of where attribute. What is the variable name we have given? str1. And what value we are storing into this variable? This is first string. Okay, we are creating another variable called as str2, and we are passing the value as what? Hello. Okay, and now we are trying to print the value of both the string. Fine. What we can do here, we can print the value by saying that fn colon length. So that is fn colon length is a function, okay, which is there defined already in your JSTL tag called as function tag. Okay, so inside your expression language, what you can write, fn colon length, and you can call the variable called as str1, which we have decided over here, which is going to consisting a value called as this is first string. So inside this double inverted comma, how many values we have written, including the white spaces. Okay, that is all been counted, and that is going to be the length of your string. Fine. Similarly for the string too. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Next is what your two lowercase and two uppercase. So again, what we are going to do, we are going to make use of both the tags. Okay, core tag and function tag along with the prefixes. We are going to make use of set tag. Okay, with its where attribute, variable name is string, value is what? Welcome to JSP programming. Now I try to convert this whole sentence, whole string value to the lowercase. How we are going to do that? So we are going to make use of expression language again. So fn colon to lowercase, that is a function. Okay, and what we are doing, we are trying to convert the word which we are passing directly to the function, that is what? hello. So don't get confused that from where the hello has came. You can make use of the function. So if I just want to ignore this set tag which comes from your core tag, if I don't want to make use of core tag, if I don't want to make use of set tag which is coming from the core tag, how I can make use of only function tag and make use of these functions. Okay, I can just simply write an expression language saying that fn colon 2 lowercase, and I can pass the value to which I want to have a lowercase. Okay, another way you can make use of set tag, you can have a variable, you can have a value for that variable, and you can just call that variable over here as a parameter to this function called as 2 lowercase. Fine, I hope you have understood this. Next is what your to uppercase function. So again, it's completely your choice whether you want to make use of core tag or not. If you're making use of it, you can make use of the set tag. One set tag is going to have a variable called as site, and what is the value? It is google.com, not googlet.com. Okay, there is another variable what we have created using set tag, that is author, and what is the value we have passed? XYZ. And we are trying to make use of uppercase, that is fn colon. So what is going to be the output? Hi, this is. So what is we are trying to make use of? Uppercase. So fn colon to uppercase function. What variable we are calling over here? Site variable. What is a site variable? This is a variable. What this site variable is holding? A value called as google.com. So what is going to be printed? Hi, this is google.com, but google.com is going to be printed in uppercase. Okay, developed by. Now again we are making use of expression. So fn colon to uppercase, and what variable we are calling? Author. So what author variable is holding a value called as xyz. So what is going to be output for you? Hi, this is google.com. In uppercase is going to come, developed by xyz. Okay, if it is already in uppercase, nothing is going to change. If it is in small, it is going to change it to the uppercase. Fine. So I think we'll have these things in the next lecture. Okay, we'll start here. From here, I'll just stop this lecture now. And if you have any doubts, students, you can just ask me. Okay, it is open for all now. If you have not understood any concept, just let me know.